and said that they were quite unhappy the way the show had been empaneling guests, and also talking about things that they think is not more entertainment, it's quite political, and that there's no fair representation of them, and like they want to be part. And also they don't like the way their presidents and some head of the parties have been abused over the period. And so they wanted a fair representation. It's been widely said that it is quite an attack. A+ has been speaking, Miss G herself has been speaking, many others who were in that studio have been telling us how they had to seek refuge and how they got into the premises. We've got a video. After this video, we'll tell you the developing stories. You may have heard that the Information Ministry in their communique said that the situation was reported to the police. The police also acknowledged it. I haven't seen any official, report or communique from UTV itself, if there's any, pardon me, but so far. Now, what has my full attention is the fact that the GGA says that they are not so excited about the Information Ministry's reaction to what had happened. Before that, let's take a look. Right, welcome back. I know, by now you have seen it. If it's not on social media, it's in some WhatsApp group. You've discussed it and all of that. This evening, I'm joined by my very good friends. One that is no new face to the show. I've got Julius Kwame Anthony. Yes, don't you all love him? He's back in the studio again. And today I'm also joined by Bernard Agbemor, who is a member of the NDC Tema West communications team. I'm also joined by Joseph Agortey, NPP communications team member. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Just to be fair, I'll come to you, Joseph. Guys, when we have some time, we'll definitely talk about, a developing story of Cecilia Dapaah, the former sanitation minister, and what she's been saying about the OSP's request to freeze her monies and many other things, and what she said about how the monies have been coming through in and out of her account. But let's focus on this one first. So, Joseph, it's your first time on the show?
Yes, please. It's my first time on the show.
Okay. Have you seen the video firsthand, even before today? What do you make of it?
Okay, the video is somehow, but I think what A+ said, that's Kwame, and what he did is not quite good. So the youth invading into the United Television Broadcasting to go and do something, I don't think it's good though, but they also have the right to do that because we can't just be tearing or shredding our paper, which is being sent from the leadership of our party. So I think they go in there to do that, although it's not good, but they also have rights. And I don't think they attack anybody, especially the producers and those there. So I don't really see any bad in there, but I think they have to use a better way or a better approach to invade or go into the United Television to go and talk to the managers who are in charge of the showbiz broadcasting.
Okay, so for you, whatever it is that was on the content of the paper, A+ shouldn't have torn the paper.
Yes, please.
Because it is from the leadership of your party. That's yes, one. Also, you think that the people that enter the studio have a certain right, I'd like to find out whether this right accrued them, but a certain right to enter the studio because at least something may have triggered them.
Yes,
they didn't just get up. This is enough reason to trigger them to go there.
Yes.
You also think that they should have a better way to invade the premises or in the studio.
Yes.
Okay. That's your first comment. Okay. Bernard, what do you think?
MFA, thank you very much. Let me say a good evening to you, to Anthony and Joseph, and also to my incoming MP, lawyer James Enu of Tema West.
He is your incoming?
Yes, incoming MP. The NDC's parliamentary candidates for the Tema West constituency.
All right.
You and I know very clearly and obvious that our current MP, who is supposed to be an honorable man, his name connotes all the wrong things you can think about in our political space. And you know that I going to the registration center, even as a COVID-19 patient, he was supposed to be in self-isolation, right? And then the one that is obvious is an international news, right? In the full glare of the world, everyone was watching, right? On the eve of 7 January, the swearing in of the president. My MP, Tema West, not any other constituency. Tema West, right? Tema West MP was the one snatching ballot paper, chewing them, running away, right? Receiving blows from colleagues. How can
are we on our journey to UTV? Are we going there?
No, I'm just stating a fact that the people of Tema West, there has never been a time in our history where the people of Tema West have been hungrier for better representation than we are now. Right? And we cannot
Campaign is over.
We cannot wait for 7th December to vote him out because he doesn't deserve the title honorable. And I believe that lawyer James Enu has all it takes to give us quality representation.
She should send me an invoice. Send me an invoice so that I'll give it to you. Send it to. But tell me, so have you seen this video?
Yes, I have. I've watched the video. I woke up to the news and I was not surprised at all.
Okay.
You know why? This is not an isolated case, all right? Unless you have not been following events in our media space. But this is not since 7th January. So this is not an isolated situation, right? But let me start off by saying that we as a country have decided that we want to be governed or we want to go by the democratic way of governance, right? Since 1992. That is what, even as a military government, the president at the time had to understand and accept the fact that the people, the will of the people stands, and the will of the people is that we need democracy, all right? And one of the tenets, the pillars of democracy, is freedom of the press, media freedom, all right? But if you look at our media, the press freedom ranking of Ghana since 2017, you realize that it's been declining, steadily declining, right? Until 2023, now we are placed 62nd, right? 62nd. From somewhere 20-something in 2016, we are currently at 62, sorry. And that is where Ghana finds itself now. Okay. And I'm saying this is not an isolated case because, look, in 2019, we all woke up to that sad story of the demise, right? The assassination, actually, of a journalist, an investigative journalist. And we all know the events that preceded that attack on him. And one cannot isolate the killing of Ahmed Swale from the events that preceded his death, right? So we can link the issues. We know what happened. And till today, in fact, the president, when he was pushed to comment on the situation, right, the first time he ever tried to do that, said that Ahmed was not assassinated because of what? Because of the tape, right? The number 12 investigative piece that was put up, and that he was not killed by members of his party.
Okay.
That was what he said during a Ghana Bar Association gathering. Okay. That was what the president said. He could not even give the deceased and his family the due respect by condemning the attack. All right.
Okay, so for you, if I get the import of your message, what we're seeing or what we saw happen in the premises of UTV, it's not new to you.
It's not new to me at all.
It's a sequence of things.
It's a sequence of it. They've been happening. Kelekuda and the
Dapaah FM.
Dapaah FM, Adan FM. You know, a lot of these things have been happening. And then even take away the media. Let's move to other arms of government, right? Even the judiciary, a court who was presiding over a case live, right, was attacked. She had to run for her life.
Which court is this?
A court in Kumasi.
There was an issue like
she had to run for her life. And in fact, the national security coordinator was attacked by NPP thugs, also in Kumasi, Ashanti region. Okay. All right? And, you know, these things thrive on the culture of impunity, where people believe that I can just do whatever I want and I can just get away with it.
Is this the case?
No.
Because we've seen that the information ministry and the Ghana police have said that they've arrested these 16
Arrested.
people.
And what's happening to them?
We'll have to
You
find
know,
out.
when you want to punish, right, you have to give a punishment that will serve as a deterrent to others.
But people have
you don't
rights
put people behind bar for 2 days and then tell us that you've dealt with them.
Okay.
So this is clearly the culture of impunity that I've been talking about, that Akufo-Addo is not trying to do anything about it, right? He's happy. The last time he was even saying that, you see, sometimes he talks and he thinks that we are,
I'll come to the follow-up part of the
fact that he had to say to us that press freedom is so good in Ghana so that even diplomats can say anything they like. Can you imagine?
Thank you.
In all this.
Thank you. I have specific questions for you, Anthony. You've seen the video. UTV has not given us an official statement. I haven't seen an official statement from them, so I can only work with what the Information Ministry have said. I can also work with what the police have said and stretch it a bit more to what the GJA have said. It is described as an attack widely.
It is. It is an attack on not only UTV, but on our democratic credentials, on our journey forward, and on our efforts to make sure that we run a democracy which is more inclusive, which guarantees the freedom and independence of the media and allows people to express their views without censorship. I must say that I am starting on a rather sad note because prior to you coming to me, I have paid keen attention to what my colleagues were saying. And to my utter disappointment, I heard somebody said that even though the actions the boys took was inappropriate, they have a right to do that. With all due respect to all of us, I came to the studio with a constitution, and if you would permit, I would want to pass it. If we can be referenced to the right which people have to storm media houses, okay, to attack people, and demand that editors and producers of shows must put them on the program because they feel that views that are being expressed are contrary to theirs, or they feel that the views that are being expressed are not ones that they find delighting. MFA, let's be serious as a people. And as young people, if we want to comment on national issues, we must do so with a disposition of ensuring that this country progresses in what we want to treat ourselves as a democratic country. Where did we come from? I'll start on that note, on the note of education, so that I can get some education as well, since we said it is a right for people to storm studios. We came from a point where, prior to the promulgation of the 1992 Constitution, we had a media which was completely state-controlled. In fact, the Ministry of Information controlled the media in Ghana, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, such that the minister appoints staff of the GBC, so that if you express views which are contrary to the government, you can be removed by just a fiat from the minister. And to lay emphasis to this point, I want to read to you page 88 to 85, just a brief of it, of where we came from as a people, so that when we are saying people have right to do certain things, we are guided. On page 84 of the report, which was sent to the Constituent Assembly, the Provincial National Defense Council, it says that the mass media, the press and platforms are the means to educate. Okay, no, let me skip that. Page 188. I'll read page 188 of the report. It says, as things stand now, there is a direct government, into bracket, ministerial interference or control of the operation of the press. Editors and reporters are appointed by the Ministry of Information, and they see themselves as civil servants, and they feel constrained in carrying out their professional functions consistent with the highest professional standards possible. This ministerial power of appointment and dismissal of reporters and government interference in the media activities have greatly contributed to the erosion of freedom and independence of the media. It is on the backdrop of these happenings that Constitution 92 in Article 162 guarantees the freedom and independence of the media. By way of emphasis, I want to stress that Article 1624 goes on to say that the editors and reporters cannot be harassed in the performance of their duties. They cannot be controlled by anybody in the dispensation of those functions. I want to also say, by way of emphasis, because the claims that the people who attacked the UTV are making is that the views that are being expressed there, the conduct of the people over there, does not represent fairness, and there's no fair representation. With all due respect to them, if they had paid just a little attention, they would have realized that they have no such right to determine what kind of views are expressed over there, or even they are not guaranteed any fairness over there. People are allowed to say whatever they want to say on the media. The Constitution was minded about the fact that there may be discrimination in the treatment of opinions, there may be suppression of views. That is why in Article 55, if you pay attention particularly to Clause 11, thereabout, you would realize that when it comes to the state-owned media, all parties are to be guaranteed equal access in presenting their views. Where they went to, is it the state-owned media? Is there GBC? So they have no such right to their opinions being represented over there in the first place.
For example, if they showed up at Cafe Day's show, on the morning show, GTV.
Even that, there is the NMC, which has been given a duty. And if you look at the case of NMC versus Attorney General, it is clear over there that it is the NMC which has a duty to regulate the conduct of the media. The Constitution is minded, per the backdrop which I have mentioned, about allowing the state to control those things because it may lead to censorship. And so if you feel that your views are not being fairly represented, and of course he's representing a New Patriotic Party, and I want to put it to him, that when his party had the view and had honest belief that they were not being treated fairly by the state-owned media, they went to court. The case of MPP versus GBC is tried on that. Why is it that this time if you feel you are not being represented fairly, and you have rights, as you said, and I passed the Constitution, I'd want him to show us those rights, and you have rights, why didn't you go to court this time? Why is it that they are there? And they are young people who are expected to know better. He's a young person as well, my contemporary, who is also supposed to know better. I do not expect that we will sit on this platform today and engage in such brazen defense of things that are utterly wrong. To the extent that the political party which he represents, stalwarts of that party, including Mr. Gabriel Asare-Chodako, including the Minister for Information, albeit that his statement has, a lot of questions, have come out to condemn this, including the fact that the director for communication of his own political party that evening was in a t-shirt to go and put things right. We should not, under any circumstance, condone the attitude where we give people rights which do not exist. So again, I would insist on those rights being proved on this program, since we have a responsibility to educate the public.
We
must do that. And to move on to lay emphasis, if I tear papers on television,
it's where I want to go to.
It doesn't matter who wrote the letter. It can be the President of the Republic. Would I have done it? No, I wouldn't do it. But if another person does it, I would defend the right of that person to do it and walk free. There is no law in this country, and I want to repeat, there is no law in this country which says that people cannot tear letters which are written to them. And there is no law which says that tearing letters which you disagree with is disrespectful. Even though I would not do it, I would defend the right of anybody to be able to do that and walk free.
And so if it wasn't for young youth of the NPP that showed up in the studio, right? And these were people who didn't identify with any other political party, and said that maybe we have followed the show for a while and we realized that it is becoming political. We actually also saw that A+, which by the way is my very good friend, tore a letter on TV and that they are not happy with that. Would the conversation change? Would the narrative change?
It wouldn't change. It doesn't matter who walks the studio. I mean, you are suggesting that by way of disagreements with opinions which are expressed by people, I could just walk to City FM or City whatever, or any media house at all, and say, I disagree with this view, so I must take a seat.
But what's the difference between the person that, I'm staying with him for a minute, I'm going to come with what's the difference between the people that walked in because they're showing their disagreement with and to the person that tore a letter, which is also his disagreement? What's really the difference? One walked, one tore.
I mean, so I am saying that the person who tore the letter on television...
He's been rightfully empaneled.
Of course, and he has every right to express his opinion. And my opinion is that what you have sent me is garbage. Complete garbage. Utter rubbish, which belongs to the bin.
Okay.
And I am tearing it to throw it to the bin.
Okay.
I have every right to say that any opinion which you have expressed to me, if you express it verbally, I can tell you is rubbish.
Okay.
If you express it by way of letter, I can tell you it's rubbish and tear that letter and put it in the bin. I am saying that if I were to receive a letter of that sort, regardless of how much I disagree with it, I would not dare.
So
But
same
other
person-
persons, you can do that, and there is no law, there is no right anybody has
same
to come to
person,
attack you for
same
doing that.
letter, but happening at a state broadcasting. If it was on GTV,
He has
same
every right to do that.
Okay.
If you have
and
a
these people
contrary
also walk
opinion,
in.
Yeah, you can't walk in.
You
there.
can't walk in.
No, you
Okay.
can't do that. If
I
you
just
have
want
an
us to
issue,
situate
you must
the
take it up with the
conversation very well.
NMC. You must take it up with the NMC and say the conduct of the state broadcaster is inappropriate. Where you do not have result, just like the MPP did in MPP versus GBC, you can go to court. And that is the expression of rights.
Right.
So if you feel you have a right to representation somewhere, you go and enforce it in court. You do not walk into the studio. And we have, contemporaries of myself who are expected to know better, who are expected to be the future of this country, saying that people have such rights. There is no such right anywhere.
And so
And so the Constitution is in front of him, and
tell me,
with his indulgence, he should show us
he may
where
not necessarily need the Constitution. Are you familiar with the
there's
Constitution?
any such right?
please,
Okay,
but
okay.
I said,
He's claiming.
in the first place, I said their action was what? Inappropriate.
Okay.
I didn't say it's a right
Oh,
in the
please, it's on
Constitution.
record. You can rewind.
Yes.
Okay,
You said you
no,
have
no,
a
no.
right.
You didn't
You said
say
they have
that
a-
is the
Where are
Constitution.
the
But
rights?
if you say a
Where are
right,
rights?
then where would we? Is there a statute?
Ghana's
we can-
Bill of Rights are guaranteed, chapter 5.
I know. But
So
you see,
where is it?
When you listen to their reasons for me
Okay.
going there, you understand. You see, you are saying that.
I will understand that they are rights.
No,
Talk
no,
to
no,
me.
no, no.
Please, you're on
let me
record to
land,
say
let
they
me-
are
let him
right.
explain. Let him explain. Let's hear you.
Let me explain. You are saying that you shredding or tearing a paper on a national television, or let me say a private television, like it's not offense.
It's not. No way. So you should show me. I have taken time to
There's no
draw
law. That's why it
historical
happened before and he had
antecedent
not
to
been
you
arrested.
as to why our media is set up the way it is set. If you
At
say that
most,
there is
what
any
can
such,
happen
you
to
should
him
show
is
us.
that the producers, the advertisers,
Can say, oh, we
they can
don't
say
like the
that
way
we
you
don't like
conduct
your way
yourself
because
over
we
here.
empaneled
There
you.
is no such law.
If I think that Anthony is too blatant and is too straightforward, all I have to do is chichi. I think Anthony does not.
He should walk out and I go because I have no right to be here because
But
I'm
for
here.
somebody
back for
from
an
outside
invitation.
to come and say that because Anthony does this, I want you to add another seat here so that we come. Because it is not the national, it's not my position to take a stand. But I want to understand, before I even come to Ben, I want to understand from you, what have you been picking up from your party members? What have you been picking up from your party leadership? Young people as yourself. Would you go if you were supposed to go, if you were not part of this panel? All right?
Yeah.
And you're going to march into the studio. Would you be part of that march?
No, please.
Why not?
You see, I was happy when you said you don't even know those people that entered or invaded United Television.
I know them. They introduced themselves.
That
They said they are the as the youth.
of the NPP.
Because they said, because they referenced the letter, and the letter is from
Are
the
you
NPP.
about to deny your,
No, I'm
your,
not
your
denying.
deputy
I'm not-
Greater
I'm not-
Accra Regional Youth
I'm not
Organizer?
denying.
Is that
I'm not
him,
denying.
actually?
I mean, that's what the report
So
says. Are you about to
there's
deny
no,
him?
so since
There's a picture of him,
this
there's a video. Are you
happened,
about
there's
to
no
deny him?
denial. The party has not denounced that they are not members. One, the young people have not come to say that unfortunately we introduced ourselves wrongly. They have said that the President of the Republic has been insulted a lot of times. Some leaders of the party have been insulted a lot of time. And also, they do not think that there is a fair representation of the empanelment on that show. And since the show has become, so for example, we do opposing views. If we've decided to talk about religious topics now, then a group of people will come and say that because we used to follow this and it's no longer what we think it is, we want to be part of the show. Is that we want to get clarity. Maybe the encoding and decoding of the message is what we are not getting. But we want to get clarity that as the party leadership, what have you, as the people, members, what have they been saying? Because the information minister, who is a MPP member, has said that they are in custody, which suggests, because if they didn't do anything that is wrong, what would they be doing in custody? That would be their rights being infringed upon. Okay, so I want to understand what we think that tearing a paper on TV can amount to a group of people going into the studio to say that they want to be part, and you cannot tell the panelists how they should feel. People say that it doesn't look like they were attacked. They say that they were attacked. If I'm emotionally assaulted, I am attacked. Are we, what does okay mean? That you rescind?
That you concede that you concede that they have no rights, because if you should insist that they have some rights, you'll be put to strict proof. As far as I am concerned.
Or maybe right is to for a legal mind like his, a legal mind that is brewing like his. When you say right, then he's forced to go straight to the Constitution. Next minute he's going to go to other statutes and all of that. But we can't find it. Or do you mean that they were they have a reason?
Yes.
You mean reason?
You see, they were having reasons why they went there. You see, they said our vice president, yes, reasons. They said our vice president was insulted, the president was insulted, and A+ even said Maurice Ampao, who is a legal practitioner like you are.
I'm not a practitioner, I beg you.
He's not.
I'm not a practitioner.
And also our deputy communication officer, Dr. Ernest Usubempa, has been attacking him. That's why he was tearing, and Usubempa is destroying the party. And I don't know why you should sit on that show and say somebody is destroying the party. So the letter that they brought to the studio is not good, so you are tearing it. You see, they have reasons.
Young
Is this
man,
not
in a
a sense
political
of
discourse,
time?
you're saying that if I express an opinion which you do not find palatable, then you must take offense. It's a political discourse. And let me put on record that in this country, we have been told that insulting the president is not a crime. And it is so.
Really?
Insulting,
When did we say
insulting the
this?
president is not a crime.
When your mama was president.
It's insulting the president of the republic, and it is true then. It was true then, and it is true now.
Yeah.
I would not insult the president, but I would defend your right to insult the president. Nobody can beat you for insulting the president. Nobody can harass you for insulting the president. If the president feels that there's a course of action, if he is insulted, he is supposed to take it up. And so you cannot say because somebody insulted your party's leadership, you can storm a studio and go and say those things. Sincerely, it is because you are conceding to certain points that there is peace in this room, because I cannot tolerate, I cannot deal with the idea that we are having a situation where we have young people who think that when other people say things about their political party leaders, which they find unpalatable, theirs is to go and attack the people. And
Let
you
me
know what
find
is
out
surprising? I want to land a point.
Okay.
What is very dangerous for this country is what we are seeing here today. That people honestly believe that what they are doing is right.
That's right.
Or they have a
There's nothing
genuine
wrong
cause to
with
do
it.
what they are doing. No, I want to land the point. The honest belief that what they are doing is right, and there is reason for doing it. Because I'm using his words
Is
so
there
that he
confusion
doesn't say...
between right and democracy?
I want to... I'll answer that, but I want to land this point. You see, the confusion we are having here is because we have people who have honest belief. Because I want to use his own words. Words like they have reason. Words like they have rights. Words like they have every reason to go there. Those words I am quoting you. It's on record.
He said they
I'm
have some
quoting you.
reasons. They stated their reasons.
Those stated
That couldn't
reasons.
be every reason.
The fact that he has honest belief that those reasons guarantee them, the right to work there.
Could it be that he's coming from the point? It couldn't be that he's coming from the point where if A+ thinks he has a reason to tear.
Doing the wrong thing is a reason.
Give him a minute.
It's very bad. We must
Give
stop
him
it.
a minute.
It's a dangerous thing, and I am not putting this on him, because if you listen to the video which you played at the start of this conversation, it seemed to me, and I tweeted it, that these people honestly believed that they could do that.
They could do this.
That is where the problem is.
Is that what you're finding in?
And that is what I'm finding in his conduct. We shouldn't have a situation where in this country, young people have honest belief that they could be doing wrong things. Like saying things like people have a right to storm media houses if they feel that views that are being expressed are unpalatable, if they feel that leaders of their political parties are being attacked, or if they feel that the president has been insulted. Those are the views he's expressing here, which is very dangerous for this country. We must do something about it. It is not even about him anymore. I feel it's dangerous for this country. We must do something about it. People should not have that thinking in this country, in a democracy. So that if I come here and I talk and people don't like it, they can storm into the studio. We shouldn't have that in this country.
Okay, we'll go for a break, and when we come back, I'll come to you. And when I'll come to you, and Joseph, I'm going to come to you at some point again. I'll come to you, and my question to you would be that have you seen the response from the Ghana Journalism Association, the GJA, and I will compare it to what the information minister has also issued from the information ministry, because people are not too amused. They say that the position he took, as compared to the position he took with the Dagbon FM matter, it's not the same. It's not the same energy. They describe it as quite wobbly. So we'll come back and talk about that, okay? But Anthony, when I come back again, I want to find out what right the whatever leader that signed the letter, all right, in the spirit of expressing yourself in democracy, what right he thought he had to write the letter to UTV, and the letter was not to A+. The letter was to UTV. And why? Yes, we say that it's a private TV station and all of that. We all know that symptoms of things can also, engineer certain behavioral patterns as a country. So how it's not the producer, how is not the manager of the UTV? I don't know whether he's a board member, but how he can be allowed to tear the TV, to tear the letter without any reaction from them, so that we have some sanitized conversation. Sure. But guys, we'll be back shortly. Early detection saves lives, but early sensitization could do twice as much. So this year, we're taking our breast cancer awareness campaign to senior high schools across the country.
We are looking to educate the next generation of women who in turn will spread the word in their own unique ways. Early education, early detection, more awareness. Our message is simple. Set a reminder, get screened, and cross it out. We're crossing out all of the fear, all of the risks and stigma attached to breast cancer.
Our high school tour will be making several stops at the Eastern, Central, Greater Accra and Ashanti regions, offering inspiring pep talks, breast cancer screening and education, amazing giveaways, and a concert to top it all off.
For further inquiries, you can reach us on 059-229-2746 or visit mx24.app/crossitout. Crossitout 2023 is proudly brought to you by Top Choco and Floral Tissues.
Your favorite evening talk show is back on your screens. Join us as we dive deeper into your issues, spark meaningful conversations, and celebrate the strength and resilience of people everywhere. What do you do to make sure that the upbringing, the morals you're trying to instill in your child is not corrupted by social media?
It's really difficult to handle when it comes to the upbringing of children, when you can't be available all the time for your child.
I think we need to move away from being the stern parents, being the strict parents, rather building friendships with our children.
Last season was amazing, exciting, and educational. Get ready to be thrilled and entertained as we discuss relevant issues and empower each other.
When it comes to marriage, economically, the burden of finance is on the man, not the woman. And it's even accepted legally that the woman's money is her money. She gets to keep it, she gets to spend it.
You get married to someone and then you ask yourself that,
we're here to listen, to inspire, and to amplify.
We have friends that when they tell you that their boyfriend does this, and they say, I'm done, I'm finished, I'll never talk to him again. Tomorrow, they're there chopping love with the same guy.
So don't miss out on The Dish with myself, Oferiua, and some of your favorite personalities as guest hosts, Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on MX24 TV.
Hi guys, welcome back to Opposing Views. And so we're picking up on the conversation of what happened at UTV. So I was asking Anthony that why would not the management of UTV, because the letter was addressed to UTV, not A+, right? Not the panelists. But I also think that there's a certain extended right, because I've given you a right to sit here. And so the topics that you're going to discuss, I cannot preempt what you're going to say. So once I've given you the opportunity to sit here, anything you do, I have to bear responsibility. Is that not it? Okay.
And that's why you have the right to interject if you think I'm not.
Okay, okay. So do you think that the host should have prevented A+ from? We're not justifying anything, but do you think that the host, I mean, should have prevented A+? I'm trying to see if I can make any sense out of what the gentleman here is saying at all.
As I said, on probably a moral basis, on basis of their brand or something which has no consequences whatsoever, except as they view it, they could decide that, oh, we don't like that you are tearing papers and all those things, and stop him. But if they feel it hurts them in no way and all that, There is nothing that prevents him from doing that. And I want to put on record here that part of the reason why our constitution contemplated a free media, free of any form of censorship and all those things, is also because people must be able to express their anger and their views through the media. And that is why in the committee report, the Committee of Experts report, I'll take you to page 84 and 85. And we should pay attention to the contemplations that went into giving the media, the freedom they have. It says that the mass media, the press and platforms are the means to educate people and make them watchdogs of their liberties inherent in a democracy. In addition to the role of informing and educating the public and the government on their constitutional rights and duties, the press and the media would have a vital role to play as a watchdog, ensuring that the Constitution is respected and honored. It goes on to say, the freedom and responsible press and mass media would be expected, 1, to expose and denounce abuses and misuse of power, defend human rights, and educate, mobilize, and articulate public opinion and feelings, not just opinions, and feelings on national television. That's what it says. For the government in power, a free and responsible and independent press and mass media provides channels to obtain feedback on its performance and also act as a safety valve by enabling citizens to freely express their views. So people have a right to express their feelings on television. And so if A+'s feelings is that the MPP in government is not performing well, and that their attempt to shout his views on television is rubbish, and he is stirring it, he has every right to do so. These are the contemplations that went into giving media freedom. Okay. And so if today we have a situation where people are saying that the feelings which people express on television give the right to other people to go and attack them on live television, I find it difficult to make any sense
I like that you drew my attention to this. I find it difficult to make sense. I liked, because I really wanted to see if there's any justification.
There is none. People have
I've seen that A+ has been saying that, important documents are being torn all the time. He's either Trump anyway.
And if, a minute.
Okay.
And if you think that my reference to the experts committee report is unfounded, in fact, even the courts, in coming to decisions that relate to the media or any other subject, they go back to these committee reports. And they were referenced in several cases. So the contemplation that went into giving this freedom must be upheld. So why should people's feelings now become a basis for which they should be attacked? Okay. If I feel the leadership feelings, I say it.
They were saying that in our constitution, and it is true that we have to protect the party's property. So
in which constitution? MPP's constitution.
So the
that's your
party's constitution of the rights.
The national constitution.
No, we are not saying that. You see, they went there. No, I'm not saying that. You see, they went there for him to come and apologize.
Apologize?
Apologize for what?
For tearing the papers.
For what reason?
Okay, but
why does he owe them an apology?
What justification does the NPP have to write a letter to UTV?
See, and also,
the
letter too was not sent to A+, as you were saying.
Yes.
The management of UTV.
Exactly. So why the management of UTV decided to give it to A+
to demand apology?
That is why they were saying that it has been a one-way political show.
How is it? Why is it for them to decide that?
If he was tearing the paper, and people were there looking at him, so it means people are also supporting what he was doing.
And of course, the media has every right to allow people to express their feeling. Why shouldn't they support it? Show us how and
this
why.
This is why
A+
said that he suspects that the person that signed that letter probably did not read the content of it, because he has a lot of trust and confidence in that signature, and that he thinks that if the person read the content of it, he was not going to sign it and make sure that that letter will get there. So he really doubts that the letter is coming from. Who do you know signed that letter? Who do you think the letter is coming from? Or is just from the leadership?
Yes, please.
And the leadership has owned.
I find it problematic that.
And the leadership has owned up to it. Has owned up to the fact that they wrote the letter.
Yes, please.
And it was signed by the general secretary of the party.
General secretary.
But A+, in his right senses, says that he doesn't think, because he kind of understands this man and thinks that he has all of his. A property is a word. He wouldn't sign such a content for it to even get there. This is why he tore the letter. Do you give him some credit for that?
And do you even A+'s view that the letter is garbage It's founded because there's constitutional basis as to why A plus has every right to see everything.
I'm trying to help my brother, you see.
I mean,
I wouldn't rebut what he said because I really appreciate what Julius has done, and it is sufficient. You see, Julius was trying to make a very important point here, right? He quoted Article 164, right?
Yeah.
The Constitution did not say that the media, when someone presumes they are being fair, should not be attacked, right? There was no condition under which the media, right, should be given freedom.
Okay.
And let me ask you this question. Do you think that, or have you ever seen or heard that any tag or any group invaded Oman FM or Radio XYZ, all the stations that were set up to promote a particular party's interest, because they feel that they are reportage or they are...
Paul Agbemor's show.
Exactly.
He has been on record to say that he is a center-right journalist.
Okay.
And that his views would represent that. And if you have anything against it, you should set up your own and express your view.
Exactly.
And it is because he has the right to do that.
Has the NDC invaded Metro TV to attack Paul? No.
No.
Why? Because we know that Paul reserves the right
to do that.
Right?
Okay.
I understand that there has been instances where the NDC disagreed with some media outlets and then said we are not going to present panelists or panel members for the show.
That's right.
Okay.
That is the best we can do. We cannot go and attack
or tell your followers not to listen to them.
Or the viewer will decide to tune out.
That's all.
Exactly.
And choose another TV
station. But you can't go and say that because we feel like the panel is not representative enough, our views are not being projected on the show, and so we are here to attack you. No.
In fact, every media house would have decided to make copies of that letter and be tearing it as their editorial. I mean, you can't do anything. There is no law.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other side of the conversation. The GJ is not so happy with the information minister's response.
Exactly. I mean, the information minister could have done better. Right, given his background as a journalist himself. Right, once a journalist, always a journalist.
Is that so?
Is
that the case?
Of course. So
I know this for a beauty queen, but I didn't know that. On the ticket of the NPP.
Of course, I mean, you can still be a journalist even after you leave Parliament. The fact that I am a politician doesn't mean I cannot be a journalist. I can still be a journalist.
Anyway.
Right?
We try to see what you mean, but it's hard to believe it, though.
Oh, then we have a lot of presenters who are like politicians, but they are journalists.
Really?
Like the presenter, Paul Agbemor, is he not a journalist?
Actually, such a good reference.
Exactly. So he is a journalist. So Oppong Nkrumah could have done better, given his background as a journalist.
But did he speak? So is it that we want him to, maybe we expected him to write a personal reaction to the action that happened, and then now the information ministry would also tell us what they've been up to in trying to solve that problem.
The GJ was clear. They said that when the other one, the Dapaah FM, because it was perpetrated by an NDC member, he was direct in...
He used the word assault.
Assault.
Was it him that used
allegedly,
it, or it was the radio station that said that they had been assaulted, and so he left it?
That was his statement from the ministry, which he represents, that it is an assault. He didn't use the word allegedly. Why is it that in this case, he was saying that they allegedly entered
without authorization?
Allegedly. When he was the same person who called the police and reported the issue, right? So what the GJ is saying is that Oppong Nkrumah, right, you were, to be fair to you, you were a journalist. And if you are condemning the act, you should be doing that exactly with the words you used before. Not to be sounding like because it is your party, all right, you are not able to be straightforward. That is what the NDC and then the GJA and all bodies are expecting from the minister. And of course, I appreciate the fact that, look, let's give credit. And that is what I like the fact that Julius said that as young people who are coming up, let's be fair. Let's give credit to the NPP about the fact that they were able to pass the Right to Information bill into law. Fantastic. And I'll always give that to the president any day. But who would have thought that in the days of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who rose to fame on the back of what? Protest. Who rose to fame on the back of championing press freedom and free speech. In his days as president, we'll be seeing a press freedom ranking for Ghana at 62. where journalists will be attacked.
How are we saying this about him, especially in the recent case that happened? Because the youth said that they came to demand an apology because he had been insulted, or we want the president to come and address the nation and say that he didn't like the fact that a group of people invaded the
in whose interest?
I mean, as important as the right which is being breached, you know, the right of the media to act without censorship, you know, the freedom which is guaranteed them and all that, and giving the track record of the president on these matters. I mean, it wouldn't have hurt if he comes out to say that this is a brazen attack on democracy.
To be fair,
it should not happen in this country.
To be fair, Joseph,
he could have done that.
Are you okay with what the information minister, the information ministry
Of course he is.
I'm okay.
Of course he is.
Yeah, I'm okay. You see, the thing is, he's not getting me. Julius is not getting me.
Try and make us understand.
I said I don't support what they did.
Okay.
But you all have different emotional feelings. Because
people's emotions on national discourse. Gentlemen, you see, we've had enough of this.
We've had enough. MFA.
People's emotions are no basis for them to go and attack other people who are expressing their constitutional rights.
He hasn't even landed with a point. I want to give
the NPP thinks that, I understand you, the NPP thinks that they have the right to be angry because a radio station or a media house was not being fair. But they don't think that we, the citizens of Ghana, right, the youth of Ghana, we have the right to be angry about the fact that they have mismanaged the economy.
Feelings, or you're talking about the young people that walk to UTV.
So if I have a feeling now that the views you are expressing here are repugnant, they are ignorant, you know, and I just can't tolerate them. They make me want to puke. Can I drag you out of here? Because I feel that you are not supposed to be here. Because your people, the people you are defending, are saying that because the views that are being expressed, tearing of papers and all those things, are repugnant to them, they have a right to be here. Can I also say that your opinions, which are grossly ignorant, to be honest, ignorance.
That's not fair, because he's representing the view of his party.
I am saying my view about what he is representing, which is completely ignorant.
You have the right to respond to it.
And I find it very repugnant that these views are expressed on this platform. Can I drag him out? Because he says someone has a right to force himself in. Can I drag him out? Because his views want me to, like, make me want to puke. Can I drag him out?
Okay, just tidy up the point a little.
Gentlemen, some of the things you are doing here, let me land this point and you can continue. Some of the things you are doing here, I want you to realize that you are a young man, you have, at least if we should go in biblical terms, over 50 years ahead of you. What you're doing here is on record, on national television. The views you are expressing here are, as I said, completely ignorant, have no basis whatsoever. If you should continue on this tangent, these videos will be played back to you. And I want you to realize that you are not, political party never saves anybody.
Exactly.
Political party never saves anybody. If you have issues, it is your personal credentials you write on, even within the political party. If your own personal credentials cannot stand for you, you will be dropped like you never mattered. And I want you to realize that while you are saying these things over here, that people's emotions can be a reason why they can walk into studios. I am angry about the views you are expressing. Can I drag you out of here?
The NPP is a party that is so intolerant. That is it. Intolerant to divergence.
Why is the intellectual party?
All right, and they will tell you that they think, the NPP has the fine brains in the country, they have the lawyers, they have whatever.
The Patriotic Party has been established. Not that I'm a fan of the NPP, but I find it so discomforting that having reading on the idea of intellectualism and all that, this is the representation which is being made for the NPP. It is unfair. And whoever sent him was so intolerable that he is here anything to go by. And if there was any right to do so, I would have dragged him out. Because these views should not be tolerated on national television.
But it is his views, though.
Exactly. And can I drag him out?
No,
because I have no right to do so. And your editorial policies do not permit me to drag people out because I don't agree with him. So why does he think that people's emotions, we have different emotions? We have different emotions, isn't it?
But he has not even landed with a point. Joseph, do you want to tidy up the point?
Yes, please. I said, I won't go there. As you asked me, I won't go there to go and do that.
But so it shouldn't be defending.
Yes, I said it in the first place.
But you said they have no right. They said they have no reasons. Not that they have reasons, they have rights. People's emotions are different, and all these things you were saying.
Would you like to stand by the right, or you are withdrawing it? Do you have be guided, Anthony? Anthony, be guided. Okay.
I said the action was.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
These 16 people that are being arrested by your own information minister, and the police, are you happy that they are arrested?
Happy.
Why?
I'm happy.
Why?
Because in the first place, I said their action was inappropriate. And as I said, that they have different emotional feelings that you don't understand me. Because me, I won't go there to go and do that, but people will go. That is why they are punishing them. They've taken them to court.
And so it is wrong.
It is wrong.
Good. We are on the same
okay.
page.
Are you okay now?
Yes.
But if somebody, then what? Do you want to continue? Are you done with that point?
No.
Make the point. It's okay. I thought you were done. Make the point.
So the information minister sending those 60 people to court, I think it's a very good thing. And as I told you that, me, I won't go there to go and do that. You get me?
Which means it is wrong.
Yes, I said it is wrong.
Which means whether they have reasons
so your feelings are not
matter. Feelings don't matter. Feelings cannot trample over other people's rights.
That's the meaning.
You know how angry the Ghanaian youth is.
So we are so angry. We don't go out there beating MPs or whatever. Right? What are you saying?
And you think the MPP reserves the right to act inappropriately because their feelings
are different.
Can you imagine?
What are you telling us over here?
You see, the people I say, ask Miss G, sorry, the host said that you don't even know those people that came there, whether they are NPP or NDC.
Oh, young man.
That's what she said.
Yes.
But did you hear them talk in the video?
Yes, please. Maybe you see, people can send them to go and do that.
People, who are the people? But if I send you to do something, I bear liability to it. Do I not?
Yeah.
If I send you to go and murder somebody, after you have been arrested, I will be arrested as well.
I won't do that.
Okay, so are you retracting that they had a certain right and then their feelings will be enough for them to behave that way?
Please.
You have completely gone, you've ended the topic.
Yes,
you don't agree. Okay, so Cecilia Dapaah has been responding, Anthony and Bernard. We have some few minutes to wrap the conversation. Cecilia Dapaah says that, so these are just excerpts of it. So in her affidavit, some part of it suggests that the bank accounts that we've seen still active, she says that it's monies that have been meant to pay her late brother's kids' school fees. And also the purported estate that the OSP is been citing as well in a document is owned by her late mother. The one that the OSP is suggesting that she is operating under aliases and AKAs. So, Bernard, take this one. Martin Pegu says that as for him, the explanation does not wash.
Of course it doesn't.
And she also says that it's caused her a lot of hardship. Because she needs access to the funds.
How can it cause her a lot of hardship when we were made to believe that this is a woman who is wealthy, right? She has a lot of money, and so finding $1 million plus some other, currencies in her room was nothing far-fetched.
But it's not the money people are freezing. So how would she not
if you are wealthy, you have investment, right? And we have frozen just this one. You should not be crying.
The OSP will not pick and choose. They will freeze any account that's related to
Look. They should give us some respect, right? In the heat of the moment, we expect that Madam Cecilia Dapaah, if she has any defense at all, she should respect the feelings of Ghanaians. We are angry as a people because we are hungry, right? Do you know what it means to find $1 million in somebody's bedroom?
I don't know. Never seen
right? The effect of that, currency circulation, on the inflation that we've been talking about. Inflation rose as high as 50-something% last year.
But what has it got to do with her and 1 million?
Oh, come on.
People are hoarding the
People are hoarding money in their rooms. When the Bank of Ghana was struggling to control inflation, thereby granting all the fiscal space, the government that has so much mismanaged our finances.
Are you in any way suggesting that the governor in any way must have struggled himself if monies like this are being hoarded?
As for the governance issue, I don't even want to come there.
Okay.
Right.
It was just
another
just
issue.
If people are hoarding the money, wouldn't he struggle? But that's just by the way. It's my side commentary.
And that is why you shouldn't have been granting, those reliefs to the economic management team. I have thought really about the Bank of Ghana issue, and I understand. But you see,
we'll go there today. We'll go there today. You people have accepted that you're hooligans, are you not?
Of course, I am now called hooligan Kwame Anthony.
Fantastic.
Hooligan Kwame Anthony.
Fantastic.
Julius has been shelved for now.
Okay. So easy. So I mean, you have said that she should give us some respect because of time. I just want
to. I mean, give us some respect. Why?
But I can't see how when a person says that, wait to me,
how can you tell us that? How can you tell us that the amount of monies found in your bedroom were funeral donations? Funeral donations. Which kind of funeral in this country will generate such huge sums of money? Can you imagine?
We have funeral economy.
Oh, can you imagine?
Which we are about to explore
and these monies were meant for what? The payment of fees. Where are they schooling? Where are they schooling?
I like to go to my friend.
Can you imagine even Harvard fees? Harvard fees. How much is so they should grant us some respect.
Bernard,
you know, we are angry as a people.
Have the respect.
We are angry as a people.
Have the respect.
So
have the respect. Joseph, have you seen what the Madame Cecilia Dapaah has been saying about? Yeah, what do you make of it?
Okay, so for her, I won't support her though, and I think recently.
So you supported others?
Oh no. Why are you laughing?
Why? What do you have against Auntie Cecilia?
No, I
support Auntie Cecilia. Why are you against Auntie Cecilia?
I don't have anything against her. But you see, Julius. Okay, so me, I won't support her though because you finding such amount of money in your room and you telling us that is some funeral donation and other things. For me, because I'm a people guy, I won't support.
Let's give her some credit. She didn't just say it's for fees. There's been a tall list justifying where the monies came from. So let's give her, though there's been some, inconsistencies in it, let's give her some credit. So what? What's your position? Because I'm not asking whether you support her or anything. Your position is that what? So first of all, she wants the case be heard 11th instead of the 18th of October, which the court has set to talk about the case in court. She says that she's in hardship, and so she needs access to her own funds. Because until you have said that these monies were acquired illegally, the money still belongs to her. And so she's asking that she be granted access to the money.
It actually serves her right. You know, the people of Ghana, do you know the number of people who are unemployed for years? You were relieved of duty how long? You resigned from duty for barely 3 months ago, and you are complaining of hardship already. Really? What should we be doing? Do you know how long people have been starving at home? It says, Sarah, look, she should grant us some respect and dignity.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
She should come
Thank you. Anthony, take the last minute.
If you asked me, genuinely, I sympathize with Aunt Cecilia, not because I condone people hiding millions of dollars under their beds, but for a person of her status, being deprived of money must be very hard. Because personally, if I don't have money, I feel like going crazy. And so if a person in Aunt Cecilia's status is deprived of money, she cannot spend, she cannot do anything, if that is truly the case, then I genuinely...
I know that she has resigned. So it's not like she's having a money.
You had your time. I genuinely sympathize with that. But of course, hardship cannot just be a basis she claims, because even though nobody should be placed in such predicaments as to beg, I think Aunt Cecilia's friends can sort her out and even leave her an inheritance for her children. So the what do you call it? The suffering thing that she's saying, I do not think that to the ordinary mind it will be bought.
What about the school fees bit? Quickly.
I think the school fee thing doesn't really make much sense to me. That to the extent that monies were coming to the account even after the late brother was dead. I do not think it makes any sense as a justification as to why you should have $1 million under your bed, if not for anything at all, At the point where your government, you are a cabinet minister, your government is telling us that we should tighten our belts, we should make sure that we don't hoard the dollar, we should help the government in the restructuring and all those things. Your money is lying under your bed. Where is the bank?
1 million.
Where is the bank? So if all these things happen, then there is reasonable justification, there's reasonable cause for the OSP to suspect that those monies must be frozen and all the accounts that you are dealing with should be frozen. But then, as I said, I sympathize with
I don't sympathize with her because
being
you are
deprived
hungry.
of cash.
And Joseph, that's not support her.
Ghanaians are hungry.
Anyway, so
is it not surprising that I'm the only one who sympathizes with her?
It's shocking, and that is why I'm about to end the show. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you again, but tomorrow, 7 a.m. on the AM Club. I'll see you. Stay well.